music on
Please
trendy
put your hands
beats.
together for yourself as you sit down. Okay, all right, so it's always what it is, isn't it? Yeah. If things like this don't happen, then you're not really a Nigerian. But then we are solving it. The Honorable, we are solving this kind of things, right? Of course. All right, so I would want to know, and I would want to hear from one or two persons before we begin proper. One thing you like about your school. Yes, let's even start from there. What we're doing today is academic. It's very, very academic. So, of course, I should be asking you. I want it to be interactive. We're not here to do any boring stuff. Because a lot of people will say it's debate, and debates are always boring. But I promise you, like we did the mock debate. I don't know, if you were here when we did the mock debate, please wave at me. Ah, amazing. I see my people that side. Okay. All right. So I'll just have to calm down a little bit and then ask some of the students. We have a lot of visitors here who are coming to this place for the first time. Yes. And we want to see and know your experience, what you've been experiencing in the school and all of those. I know your VC is on his way coming, but just tell us before he comes, you know what I'm saying? Just whisper it. So. But I'm just, of course, everywhere here is very welcoming, very warm. So I'm not expecting that you're seeing any hardship out here. The school is very, very welcoming and warm. So tell me, how has it been schooling here?
Good.
Just in one word, good. Good. Okay, so what about you?
It has been awesome.
It has been awesome. I love the people in the school. They rarely talk. Okay, they rarely talk, so they just whisper words. Amazing people. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, if this is your school and if you're a lover of what we're doing, and also if you're that one person who is happy to be here, I just want to make welcome the person and the one reason while we are sitting here, and also one of the biggest, youngest vice chancellors ever in Africa. I'm talking about no other person but Professor Afam Echa Ituma, VC, Coal City University. Please put your hands together for him as we welcome your VC. As we welcome your VC, put your hands together. I heard someone was telling me that when the VC walks or when he comes to a place, everybody's like, yo, yo, yo. I was like, you said waiting. VC? How? In my days when we went to school, if the VC is coming, everybody's shivering. But I also heard that your VC is, you know, a normal guy that you can relate with. That's true, right? Oh, that's amazing. So you see, that's one of the reasons why we're always telling you to go to youthful places. I'm no shades to the grown-ups though, but then youthful places are always amazing. Okay, so while he's working, I know he's signing autographs out there. That's why maybe he's still finding his way to this place. But then, before all of those, we were walking around asking people what the school is like, and if you're going to recommend someone to come to this school. Are you going to recommend your friend to come to this school?
Yes.
Why?
It's a nice school.
What's nice about the school?
Lecturers are good at their job, and the facility is quite nice.
Oh, okay. What did you say?
The school kind of listens to their students. Yeah.
The school listens to their students. That's amazing. Okay, we have visitors and we have the little kids out there who might really be looking for other schools to go to or schools to go to when they grow up. So I'm thinking the school is going to just be it. Of course, I'm sending my child to the school. You know why? The environment. The environment is very, very neat. Neat. I was looking for a place where they dump things, like people throwing things around and all of those. I didn't see. So you see, you guys are very neat. Very, very neat people. Unlike some people I know that I'm not going to call their names now anyways. But you already know the people. But then, okay, so next in our list, I know you have the brochure already. But before all of those, wherever we go to do debates, it's always giveaways. Everybody loves giveaway, Abby. I just said giveaway. That lady that was pressing her phone just lifted her hair. Okay, yes, we'll do giveaway. Well, who wants? Does anyone want? Bros, the small, they raise the hand, yeah? Okay, all right, come. Let's do this. Let's do something. I also heard that the smartest people school here, right? Is that true? Come. Why did I say smart and you turned back immediately? I wasn't going to ask you to do basketball. Yeah? Because I know you're tall and that might be your forte, okay? All right, so are you ready? I'm ready. Okay, he said he's ready. So I'm just going to ask you a question of how well you know your school. It's just about your school, all right? Hey, he has smiled. He just smiled. Okay, so tell me, your VC, your Vice Chancellor, where is he from? Okay, you love the mic. You've just been swinging the mic. Thank you for. You're waiting for me. Okay, all right, tell us.
Ebonyi State.
Someone has told you, anyways. Is he from Ebonyi State? Okay. Okay, he actually answered it immediately. He saw the 1,000 I brought out. That's amazing. That's very, very amazing. Okay, so. Niger boy. Niger boy. Okay. Okay, so put your hands together for him. So, who else wants an extra 1,000? We're just delaying a little. Oh, from what side? Who else wants an extra 1,000? And yes, put your hands together if you can stand up. Welcome one of the biggest celebrities out there in the academic field, the VC of Coal City University. The VC of Coal City University, Professor Ituma, welcome. And his principal officers are here as well. The principal officers are here as well. Welcome, sirs. Welcome, sirs. Welcome, sirs. It's what I told you. He's just looking very young and very vibrant, you know. So you could just find an English name to call him, all right? So when you see him on the road, you can just say, yo, what's good? Don't mind me, I'm just joking, please. He's prof. He's a professor. All right, ladies and gentlemen, while we are at it, I got a lot of things here, beautiful things here, so I'm giving out a lot of things. So please pull out your phone numbers or your phone. Okay, it's just your phone though. I'm going to call this number and you're going to recharge it. Is that okay? Give it away. When I too like, give it away. Okay, so I'll call this number. I'm not telling you the network it is. So you just recharge. If you're lucky enough, it just enters. All right? So are you ready? Are you ready? People upstairs, are you ready? Okay, so let's do this. 445 80 660 74 508 06. Who got it? Who's that? Who? You did? Who? It's actually a glow line. Is anyone using glow here? Okay, there's no glow network in your school? There's no glow network? Okay, let's do the one for, I don't know. Let me not call this thing again. So quickly now, 8068. Let's start it again. Are you ready? Okay, 8680 2322 7805 21803. Who got it? Has already been used. If you know you use this thing, wave at me. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, while we're at it, okay, I know someone got it because these are very brand new cards. I'm going to do this till we are done. It has plenty numbers of it, okay? So just keep it locked. And I have 4 other networks as well. So just be here with me this afternoon and you'll be getting plenty of those. All right, so please, can we be on our feet? Let's say the opening prayer as I hand the mic over to Reverend Father Kanife Chukwukadibia to lead us in the opening prayer, and then we begin proper.
Please may we rise. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. We thank you, Almighty God, for the gift of life you have given us. We thank you for the gift of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, who is teacher by excellence. We thank you for blessing our state, Nigeria, with many universities. Here today, we're here. We thank you for bringing all of us here together in this debate. Help us make it enrich our lives and give greater glory to your name. We make our prayer through Christ our Lord. In the name of the Father, Son, of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Father. Thank you very, very much for that. All right. And we're just starting. This is ATC Debate. ATC means African Thinkers Corner Debate. So it's a debate where intellectuals come together. It's a debate where people come together to talk about rising issues in our society. And then it is you here listening and watching this that will say who did better or who you believe the more. All of them do better, yes, but then it is you who would say, okay, so let's think about this and let's take this for today as what the answer is. I just want to also say that Coal City University is actually the co-host of this particular event. All right, so we are moving to the part where we have recognized everybody, and if we did not call your name, you are very, very important. We know they use you play. I beg. Just permit me as a host and MC of the event to also talk. My name is Chris Penn, or you can call me Chris Penn one, because I'm always a brother to everybody. You know, there's this beautiful thing about having the kids join us in a debate like this. I don't know who brought that initiative, but also you see some of these kids here speaking on big podiums tomorrow and then being one of the biggest international speakers out there, and it is going to happen before us, of course. So big shout out to the El Nathan Arrow Basic and Junior Secondary School. You guys are amazing. Welcome. The moderator of this very beautiful event, as she comes. We have two moderators, but I'm bringing up the first one for now. So please put your hands together as I bring the first moderator, Mrs. Chidima Alozie, coordinator ATC Debate, and she's also a lecturer. Please, ma, can we have you? Okay. And then also to bring up as well Dr. Obianuju Ekwunife, who is also a member of ATC Debate, and she's also a lecturer. I've seen her here, so I think you know her, please. Yeah, of course. Those are her students, I guess. Okay, so, and yes. Also to let you know that this afternoon we'll be having the debaters joining us here and there as well. So we'll have for the proposing side, we'll have for the opposing side, but then that is a job the moderators will do when they start proper. Okay, so but before all of those, I want to bring up the Vice Chancellor for the welcome remark. And then after the welcome remark, we will hand over to the moderators. Please put your hands together as we bring up the Vice Chancellor of Coal City University. An amazing man. An amazing man. Very, very amazing. Put for him. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. The university registrar, the librarian, of ATC Debate, Professor students, not forgetting the Associate Dean of Arts, Management and Social Sciences, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you all. It is a great at the opening ceremony of Knowledge Miners. So on behalf of the management, staff, and students of Coal City University, I wish to warmly welcome everyone to this epoch-making event. Coal City University is very pleased to host the maiden edition of African Thinkers Corner Debate in partnership with CN Tickets, founded by Chude Nwodo, a patriotic Nigerian based to fostering a debate culture, director of speech and debate at Southern Methodist University, to deliver a keynote lecture on debate, universities, and national development. That keynote lecture was very informative and inspired us to establish a debate club in our university. We had to set up the debate club to provide a platform for our students to listen to, make their own case in a law, to hold two opposed ideas in mind at the same time, and still retain the ability to function. I believe that Nigerian universities need to do more to foster debating skills, to enable students improve their advocacy skills, critical thinking, public speaking, group collaboration, confidence, and many more. Nurturing our students to exhibit these characteristics helps Coal City University cultivate graduates of distinctive quality who will be able to pursue lives of public service. Coal City University Debate Club was fully involved in Africa is very timely and opposite. The issue of religion and tribalism affect our collective well-being and the prosperity of our country, and more broadly the continent. I'm delighted that this team will provide us important insight that will inspire positive change in Nigerians and Africans more broadly. In ending this opening remark, let me thank the African Thinkers Corner debate coordinators for being well disposed to bring this debate to Coal City University, the home of knowledge miners. I equally congratulate Dr. Bianuju Epunife for attracting this prestigious program to Coal City University. I appreciate the local organizing committee for working conscientiously to organize this program. I understand they started since Tuesday with our students engaging in topical issues, and I'm very delighted that we're here with this maiden edition of the ATC Debate program. I invite everyone to enjoy, reflect, and engage in the conversation in a constructive manner to enable us to enjoy today's debate. And we'll also use this opportunity to network. On this note, it is my singular honor and pleasure to declare the maiden edition of African Thinkers Corner Debate open to the glory of God and benefit of our staff, students, friends of the university, and indeed the humanity. I wish all the participants a very fruitful debate and a delightful stay in Coal City University. Thank you, and God bless you.
You know, sometimes when minds like this read things out, I'm overwhelmed. The type of school. All right, I want to quickly bring to the stage the general manager of CN Tickets Media to tell us a little bit about the app and then how it is used. After the Mrs. Chinenye, please, she's my madam. I beg Mona clap for her. If she tells me to drop this mic over, welcome, ma.
Thank you very much. And I'm happy to be here. It's good to see everybody standing on existing protocol. I just want to say welcome to everybody. Thank you for honoring our invitation. So I will get right to it immediately. If you notice, this debate does not have panel of judges. Oh, in case you don't know, it's not going to have panel of judges. Now, how you show your participation for this event. So you're going to be the one to vote. You're going to be the one to vote. That is the essence of the application he has been talking about. So if you don't have that app, I want to plead with you. Please download the app, because that is how we can record participation, and then that is how we can be able to tell which team argued better. Because in a debate, there's no winner. It's just that one team was able to convince the other people better than the other team. So what would happen is, please, if you're on your phone, go on the internet, Google Play Store, please open your Google Play Store right now. You can do that, please. Before the event starts, go on your Google Play Store and search for CN Tickets app. The ticket has an S. CN Tickets app. And download it, install it, and register. The registration process is very strict. It's simple. So you just put your name and your email, and then you have an account. Now, when you open that application, okay, thank you for projecting. So when you open the application, when you log into the application, you're going to see an icon that says vote. It's staring at you just in front of the home page. There's going to be an icon. Please, can we get to that screen quickly? I need you to load the home page. Very good. Thank you. Please bring it back. Thank you. So on the app, you're going to see this vote. As it stands, this is the only event registered on that app. So when you click on votes, it takes you to today's. You're going to the image. Okay, African Thinkers Corner Debate. And today's topic, religion rather than tribalism, has an negative impact on Africans' progress. Now, on that app, on that event page, that is where you get to vote. You're going to see two sides. There is the side that says religion. So if you agree with the team that is speaking for religion, you can vote on that part. If you agree with the team that speaks for tribalism, you can vote on that part. All you need to do is click on vote. All you need to do is click on vote. I'm sorry, this screen has gone out. Again. So I guess it's pretty simple. All right, so I hope you have an interesting time, and I hope this event is engaging for you. It would be interesting to even hear what the conversation is going to be about. So as a way to show your participation, please do well to vote. Thank you.
All right, so it is very simple and it's very accessible as well. The app is very simple. Okay, so I want to bring to the stage right now the very first moderator, Mrs. Chidinma is here to come and talk to us and then bring up the debaters. Please put your hands together for her as she comes.
I want to thank our able Vice Chancellor for honoring our request to host this median edition of the African Thinkers Debate. Please, let's give him a round of applause. Because even in the world of uncertainty, he was still certain that everything is going to come out successful, and we are proud of him. Thank you so much, Prof. And we also want to thank our debaters for honoring our invitation. I have the honor to call the first debater that is standing for the negative. He's going to be speaking against religion, that tribalism is actually the problem of the African nation, with the claims that come on stage, Very Reverend Father Emeka Ngwoke, PhD. Let's give him a round of applause as he walks up the podium. Continue with the round of applause until he's standing here for his citation. So for the affirmative, they will be sitting here. For the negative, they will be sitting here. So we await our Honorable Most Reverend Father Ngwoke. Give him a round of applause again. Yes. Keep standing, please, Reverend Father. The person standing before us is Most Reverend Father Emeka Ngwoke, PhD. He's a priest of the Catholic Diocese of Nsukka, who was ordained in August 1991. He first class honor was in 1986, and theology was in 1991. He holds a master's degree and licenses in dogmatic theology in 2004 and 2005. And he also has a doctorate degree in systematic theology from the University of Notre Dame, Indiana, USA in 2012. He teaches in the Department of Religion and Cultural Studies at the prestigious University of Nigeria, Nsukka, UNN. He also served as the chairman of Nsukka Diocesan Committee on Ecumenism and Interreligious Dialogue. He is the author of the following monographic, Political and Religion, A Christian Perspective, that was written in the year 2001. The Eucharistic and Social Responsibility Towards the Poor, that he wrote in 2006. The Gospel and the Church in the Service of Society, that was written in 2016. Priests and Bishops in 2016. In addition to several journal articles that he has published in high-impact journals and books in chapters. His research interests include the relation between religion and culture, religion and violence, religion and politics, and inter-religion dialogue. Please let us welcome Most Reverend Father Emeka Ngwoke, PhD of the Roman Catholic Church. It's a privilege to have you here. May I invite the second moderator to read out the citation of Professor Asogwa that is ably represented by Dr. Malaki Echie. Thank you.
The Vice Chancellor, Ko City University, Enugu, Professor Afam Echa Ituma. The principal officers of the university, our debaters, ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to stand on the existing protocols as I call on Dr. Malaki Chuma Ochie, representing Professor Felix Asowa. Professor Felix, born in 1967, is a professor of international relations at Enugu State University of Science and Technology, holding degrees from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, a diploma in peace studies from Ghana. He has held key roles in academia, including Dean at Ko City University, Enugu, and Director of Institute for Peace, Conflict and Development Studies, a recipient of research grants. He has authored numerous books and publications, actively participating in international conferences, married with 5 children. Dr. Malaki Chuma Ochie, faculty member, Institute for Peace, Conflict and Development Studies, Enugu State University of Science and Technology, ESUT. Senior lecturer, Department of International Relations, Maduka University, Ekwegbe, Nsukka. Consultant, Women Aid Collective, Enugu. DIMLS Consults, Abuja. Member, Nigerian Political Science Association. Today, he will be speaking in favor of the motion. Please welcome Dr. Malaki Chuma Ochie. Please, may I call on Associate Professor A.D. as he called on other debaters.
Thank you very much. The Vice Chancellor, Ko City University, we appreciate you. Principal officers, Ko City University, we appreciate you. You've done all great. My regret, Reverend, former VCs, ladies and gentlemen, also Fede and Ekwe, we celebrate you. We are welcome. And this day, I am so honored standing on existing protocol to call on Professor Mpa Ago Mpa to please stand for reading of his citation. My prof, yes. Before you is standing a man that is rare. VC, Adams, Best VC Award winner for over 3 times. Deputy Vice Chancellor, Abia State University. Dean, Faculty of Education. Commissioner of Education, Abia State of Nigeria. Secretary, Abia State Government. Presently, ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Professor Mpa Agumpa. He is known at home and abroad. He is a wonderful man. I welcome you. I welcome you, Prof. You may be seated. Thank you very much. Yeah, we have distinguished gentlemen here. I'm so happy that our VC is able to gather us yet under this roof. May I call on our Ozo Ferdinand Anekwe, Dr. Ferdinand Anekwe, to please stand for his citation. Professor Anekwe, you are welcome, sir. Our prof is a special human being. Our prof. Oh, Prof. Okay, I'm going to Yano. Okay, no, this Prof. Inside, okay, no side. Bye. No, back again. This side.
Anyways, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Prof. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you a unique figure, a man known at home and abroad, a man of caliber, in fact, a mixture of culture, tourism, education, wisdom, and knowledge. Dr. Ferdinand Anekwe. Fedi was the former chairman in Isagu local government. The best chairman of Isagu local government till today. The best they've ever had. Permanent Secretary, Enugu State Culture and Tourism, PAMSEC. Director General, Center for African Black and Culture, and Abuja, a DG. Such people are not easy to get at. You can't easily come near them. And also, Fedi is a writer of series of books. And he is a man that is also the director of Culture and Tourism at Gofrokwe University. Fedi is a lecturer also at ESUT, that Institute of Culture and something in ESUT. And today he is here with us to present his own idea and concept on religion rather than tribalism has a more negative impact on African. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Religion rather than tribalism has a more negative impact on African progress. Whether you are, yes, it's okay. Okay. Fedi, he said you should sit this side. He said you should sit this side. Beautiful. So, and I want to welcome another person, Professor Uboji. Please, Prof, can you stand for your citation? I'm Professor Uboji. My Prof, can you stand? But I was so glad to have Father accept his invitation. Reverend Father Kanife, very Reverend Father Kanife. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have a distinguished figure. When I look at Father Canife, I just bow. My Reverend, we celebrate you. We celebrate you. So standing you before you is Reverend Father Canife, parish priest, St. Mary's, Iva Valley, 1974 to 1975. Parish priest, St. James, Akko, 1975 to 1978. Administrator, Holy Ghost Cathedral, Enugu, 1978 to 1988. Priest, Domagen Parish, Catholic Domagen Parish in Germany, 1982. Priest, Pecksville, New York Catholic Parish, 1983. Priest, Chin Bayern, Germany Catholic Parish, 1984. Adjunct pastor, Catholic Parish in Canton, Lucerne, Switzerland, 1985. Parish priest, St. Paul's, Eke, 1988 to 1990. Parish priest, St. Joseph, MN, 1990 to 2003. The father is a distinguished gentleman. We celebrate you, Father. We welcome you. May God bless you. So we're all welcome. You have distinguished people. I'm sure today will be a wonderful day. Today will be a wonderful day. And I want to call upon our moderators to come and take over as our Reverend Father sit down. You are welcome, my priest. God bless you. God bless you. Hollywood, you are welcome.
Thank you so much. Our own very Associate Professor AED, Associate Professor of Fishery. He's actually an entrepreneurial professor, produces a lot of fish feed, novel items for the. That is his area of expertise. Thank you. So we are back to the main event, that is the debate for the day. And I believe that all our ears are wide open to receive valuable information from our wonderful resource persons. They're actually well loaded. When you have great men in front of you, just know that you're actually moving to the next level. And I want to commend our students that they should all be attentive so that tomorrow you also be one of the resource persons that we are going to invite, whether in this platform or any part of anywhere in the world. There should be teamwork. Team members must work closely related to the topic of the debate. Straying off topic is discouraged. Directly engage with and respond to their opponent's argument. Ignoring or avoiding counter-arguments is not permitted. You should welcome all forms of counter-argument that is courteous. Timekeeping, speakers should respect their allocated time and avoid trial debates. I'm going to call the affirmative speaker. So for the affirmative opening, we have a proposed time of 17 minutes. Are you set? Thank you, Father. Before we'll hand over the podium and the microphone to the first affirmative speaker. Okay. First, second thought for the negative. Yes, right.
17 minutes each or just first speaker?
17 minutes for the first main speakers for both sides, affirmative and for negative. 17 minutes. Okay, so may I have the honor Please be ready to be giving them a round of applause to encourage them and make them to give us the best during their outing. So may I honorably call on the first speaker from the affirmative, who is able Professor Mpa Agumpa, to come on the podium and give us his wonderful stand on this debate. Give him a round of applause, please. Prof, you're welcome.
The VC, sir. The youngest and the most handsome. I have just started. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to speak on the view that religion rather than tribalism has a more negative effect or impact on Africa's progress. I would want to begin by saying that religion itself is not bad. It is a misapplication of religion. And this misapplication derives from either a conscious or unconscious misinterpretation of what the writers of the Bible or Quran have said. So, religion in itself is good, but it is a misapplication, as you will see as we progress. Both the religion of Islam, Christianity, and traditional religion have had negative effects because of their misinterpretation or misapplication. Right from the creation of our country, Nigeria, you would see that today in Nigeria, unfortunately, we were dragged into membership of OIC, Organization of African Nations, countries, by Babangida, Islamic countries. And in 1989, another organization was founded in in Abuja, Islam for Africa. Part of what they are saying is that all their member nations must ensure that only Muslims are elected to all political posts of their member nations, eradicating all its forms and ramifications, all non-Muslim religions, including Christianity, in block letters, and to ensure ultimate replacement of all Western forms of legal judicial system with the Sharia, and then to ensure that the appointment is made only to Muslims into strategic national and international posts of member states. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if this were to be implemented, and you could see that in the appointments made by the previous administration of this country, all the service chiefs were Muslims, in line with this declaration that all positions must be occupied by Muslims. Is it fair to us? This is what religion is doing to us. Now, I don't want to tell you that the nation donated 21 billion US dollars to Islamic Development Fund to carry through this agenda. It was not appropriated. Your money, my money, used to champion a cause that will dehumanize Christianity. And that is what religion is doing. The concept of jihad, it is a religious issue. This is the use of force to convert you, to convert me into a religion I don't want to belong to. It is a contradiction to the constitutional provision of fundamental freedom and rights of individuals. And unfortunately, the Muslim elite are people who are championing it and believing that they are serving God. This is what religion is doing to you and to me. If a jihad is waged, they believe that if they kill you, kill me, they'll be received in heaven. This is religion. It may shock you to know that in the 1999 Constitution as amended, the word Islam is mentioned 28 times, Muslim 10 times, Sharia 73 times, Grand Qadi 54 times. There is no mention of Christianity, no mention of church, no mention of Christ. In the Constitution, you and I are supposed to operate in this country. This is what religion is doing. Is it fair to you? Now, before the previous administration left, Buhari tried to institutionalize grazing settlements in all the states of Nigeria. What was the plan? It is in furtherance of this agenda, so that they will plant Islam in all the states, and over time they will overwhelm the Christian population. Why will they do so? They are not going to fight any battle, because their policy in Islam is one man, four wives, and in Christianity is one man, one wife. In the next 50 years, they will procreate and overwhelm and take over the populations in all parts of the country. This is what religion plans to do, to annihilate Christianity in line with that agenda of OIC. Needless to talk about what Boko Haram is doing. It is a religious issue. Boko Haram has destabilized peace in this country. They are taking over territories, destroying whoever does not share their view, burning down church buildings, kidnapping people, and maiming others. All in the name of religion. This is what religion is doing. Remember, misapplication of the concept of religion. I'm not sure that this is what Muhammad taught them to do. Needless to talk about the Fulani herdsmen versus Christian farmers. These are stories that we read. Kafanchan crisis of the 1980s and 90s. Kaduna Sharia riot when people rioted against that. Bauchi riot of 2001 against the introduction of Sharia law. Just riots of 2001. All these are issues that have invited Muslims armed when they systematically disarmed the Southerners. A few years ago, they said everybody should surrender their arms. And people surrendered their arms. And these arms were used to arm the herdsmen. And they are fighting us to annihilate us. This is religion. And I think that, now, what about the Sharia law? Sharia law has been implemented in several states of the north. What does this Sharia law mean? Their criminal code is saying, if you steal, they cut off your hand to show that you stole. As against Christianity that talks about forgiveness of sin. Caught an adultery, they'll stone you to death. And so many other obnoxious behaviors associated with religion. If that were to be implemented all over the country as a plan to do, what do you think will be your fate and my fate? Churches are burnt down, killings in line with the implementation of the OIC and IOA agenda. The killings in southern Kaduna, we all know what is happening there. People are dying in their thousands. Christians. Religion is supposed to bring us together, push us nearer to God. But the misapplication of this religion is destroying us. You all know the last story about the killing, the burning of an undergraduate student like you. Student of Shehu Shagari College of Education, Deborah Samuel Yakubu, who was accused of blasphemy. She said something against religion. And they caught her and killed her, burnt her to death. Religion. Suppose that girl were your sister, your daughter, your child, your whoever. How would you feel? So that kind of mentality It is religion destroying the peace and stability and tranquility of this country. You are adults when they talked about Muslim ticket. How do you feel about it? Even of the present administration, religion. In line with the OIC declaration that only Muslims should rule in their member countries. That's why Christians now feel that they can be done without. And this is the message that this Muslim ticket has conveyed to us. And with all the impunity that goes with it, the heavens did not cave in. How can Christians put in their best in planning and making this country grow when they are so marginalized? Now, Israel and Hamas are fighting. Professor Issa Meshano went to Lagos, all the way from Sokoto went to Lagos to foment an uprising, calling on Nigerians to declare, rise in support of the Hamas people. Yoruba people refused. Stop us here, assuming they had welcomed it, and an uprising ensued. Where would I have been? This is what religion is doing. It has destroyed this country, even though that was not the intention. You know as much as I do. There are some religious groups, both of the traditional religions, accepting cesarean section, even when there are complications in childbirth, or accepting blood transfusion during critical health conditions. This is what religion is saying. They are saying, remember I say, misapplication of religion. The way they understand it. Going to do this thing to save lives, precious lives that would have enlightened this country, an African continent. People are system. Remember, your history will tell you. Twins and their mothers were killed. True or false? During that period. This is what the traditional religious system believed in. Now, who knows how many Thomas Einsteins, how many, yes, Einsteins could have been destroyed, killed. How many Platos and Aristotles that were to have been born here to develop our country, but because of traditional belief, religion, they were all killed. Their mothers were killed. Now, do you know that some Christian sects refuse to view the television or have anything to do with the internet because they believe that it's satanic, it's demonic? Where development? How can you develop and grow? This is what religion is telling us. Remember, I say misapplication of religion. So these obnoxious practices, we've talked about the ritual killings associated with that. How much time do I have? For only 2 minutes only. Okay. Do you know? You see, there are quacks on the pulpit today. People who, without training of any sort, they mount the pulpit and they begin to talk what they don't know. Confusing, defrauding innocent people because they call themselves pastors. And they tell you that without working, you stay there, just pray, pray, pray. You will receive a lot of 2 million naira. As such happens, they are discouraging our youth from working. This is what religion is doing. It is not what God. These quacks have polluted gender inequality. Some church organizations believe that the man must be superior for. Talk about it, they say, no, your place is in the kitchen. In the other rooms. Some people, governments allocate resources for Christian religious organizations to do certain things. They should fund it. And you don't use public funds for pilgrimages, when in fact the people that are going for these pilgrimages are individuals who are friends to the governors, the collective leaders. You appoint only your
Agumba. Another round of applause for him. Beautiful. My honorably invite the first speaker from the negative, Dr. Ferdinand Anyekwe, to move up to the podium and stand. Okay, they have rearranged. By Doctor, give us your points. Thank you.
The Vice Chancellor, any viewpoint to me. So please, let's take that into consideration. I am here to African progress than tribalism. It has become fashionable to adumbrate the notion that religion and tribalism has been the pain of African folk. I have some jottings here. Let me tell you why tribalism should be the major culprit here. In an article pointed how tribalism and religious bigotry had impeded Africa's economic development. For him, tribalism and religion constitute the greatest impediment to African development. In an interview with the Vanguard in 2018, former Senator Stella Odua and former Aviation Minister blamed ethnicity, tribalism, and religion as the greatest impediment to Nigeria's development, near Africa's development. In real terms, in 2019, Patrick Gutara, the senior editor at The Humanitarian, is a magazine, is a professional magazine, published an article where he claimed that religion and tribalism has impacted negatively on Africa. So, in real terms, there is no shortage of arguments. There's no shortage of points of view about the impact of religion and tribalism on Africa's development. In 2021, MEFOR also did that. So the question is, if we look at this debate more critically and more analytically, we should be asking the question, is tribalism and religion actually the major issue in the conversation about African development, about Nigerian development? For me, the answer is no. Why do I say this? As a matter of fact, both tribalism and religion are fallouts of African leadership deficit and underdevelopment. They are both symptoms. They are both symptoms rather than the cause of Africa's development problems. Tribalism and religion become relevant to discussions on Africa's development challenges to the extent that the African ruling elite resort to tribal and religious narratives as weapons of class or elite struggle as a mobilizing platform. So these are symptoms, not necessarily the core issue. I am therefore, the word tribe, I am inclined to argue, is a rustic and derogatory word deliberately imported into our vocabulary by colonialism to denigrate African peoples. When Europe or America talk about tribes, they are actually talking about African people who are who have a common language, but they are natives and uncivilized people. I am therefore normally very reluctant to use the word tribe, because when the colonial masters spoke about themselves. They called themselves nations. The English call themselves, we are a nation of English people. In such a way, you have the Scott nations, Welsh, and so on and so forth. But when it comes to Ndibo, when it comes to Hausa, when it comes to Fulani, when it comes to Kikuyu in Kenya, when it comes to Swahili, we become tribes. We become tribes. So the only time a comparative analysis of religion and tribalism may be significant in our development narratives, in our development discourses, is primarily on their potency, mark my word, on their potency as tools for class or elite domination, especially in the struggle for power control, resource sharing among the ruling class. It is on this basis that one can talk about tribalism rather than religion being of greater potency on Africa's development. And so I submit that tribalism has done more harm than religion for the following reasons. Number one, tribalism is an elite mobilizing platform in Africa and is a colonial creation. When the colonial masters came, they saw that much as we were existing as ethnic nations, we had our bond. People crossed into other ethnic nations and come back and so on. We were existing in peace. But the British colonial masters, they came with an agenda. That agenda was to keep us divided. And when they came, they began to look for those fault lines in our relationship. They identified them, exacerbated them, and made them issues when we did not make them issues. They wanted to create platforms that will keep us divided so that we can never for once come together to say, you are an alien, you should get out from our land, and so on and so forth. Even among the Igbos, that is monotonous in terms of culture, religion, and history, they still found divisive fault lines to pitch us against the other. Number two, why tribalism is more potent, a destructive force, is tribalism is the first port of defense for any elite that has been out-schemed in power struggle. They recline into their ethnic shells. They recline into their tribal shells to checkmate their more illustrious opponents. This was the case in 1956 when it was written that when Awolowo conspired and threw Zik away from the Western House of Assembly, Chinua Achebe recorded that incident as the birth of tribal politics in Nigeria. And he said that the Zik was sent, the great Zik of Africa, was sent scampering back to the Niger whence he came, end of quote. So it is not religion. Religion is more fluid. It is not cast on stone. I can decide today to change my religion to Islam. And a Muslim can decide to become a Christian. So there is fluidity in religion. It is not the misapplication of religion. Religion is not as potent. Those of us living in Enugu here, there was a time a particular candidate was said to be a Catholic candidate, more than the other one. And it was said in all Catholic churches, we must vote for our own person. But when the result came out, people voted for two reasons: resource allocation and what they would get from government. Religion is merely a distraction from the real issue. It is not the issue of religion that has brought Africa to its knees. Tribalism rather than religion, creates a sense of winner takes all and the loser loses all. The 2023 election, if it were religion, we wouldn't have the voting pattern we had. It was based on tribalism. The West voted massively for the APC candidate, who is their son, despite his numerous baggages. When you come to the Southeast, it was a tsunami for P2B because he's an Igbo man. If it were religion, Wike would not struggle to deliver River State to a Muslim candidate, a Muslim candidate. He will not strive to deliver that. Hope Uzodinma will not strive to deliver Imo State. Ebonyi State will not deliver that. David Omar will not struggle to deliver Ebonyi State to APC. It is not religion. It is tribe. Tribe has become a platform for state allocations, resource sharing, power elitist struggles, and so on and so forth. So it is not religion that has done that. Tribalism and not religion defines voting patterns and leadership recruitment in Africa and in Nigeria. That is what matters. Because of the atavistic nature of our politics, because of the kind of politics we play, we have elevated tribalism as a pedestal, as a determinant for resource allocation and leadership recruitment. We are not talking about, okay, I don't know how many of us saw it. It went viral, where the Speaker of a State House of Assembly, about 2 months ago, the plate number on his Jeep was, I think, Sifika, meaning speaker. Yes. So, when the governor of that state was accosted, how can the Speaker of a State House of Assembly fail to spell speaker? The governor said, I don't want to mention his name. The governor said, leave him. He is my brother. He is my place. Meanwhile, the speaker, is a Christian. But he has misspelled that because of dialectical problem, because of pronunciation issues. He spelled it the way he pronounced it. In most parts of Nigeria, people write words the way they are pronounced because our language is tone-marked. Is tone-marked. So, but if it were religion, he will say, I have a reason for throwing you out as speaker. So, tribalism rather than religion has created political instability in African countries. It is not religion. Tell me one state in Africa that is stable, and I'll show you a state that is not controlled by religion. I'll show you a state that is not controlled by religion. Tribalism has done more harm than good to African development. Go through African history. Go through African history, and you will understand that tribalism has been the greater culprit. Much as I agree that religion has had its own impact pales in the face of tribalism as a determining narrative to African development. I thank you for listening, and I hope I have convinced you that tribalism is the major culprit. Thank you very much.
Thank you. A round of applause for able Dr. Malaki Eche. Okay, we are going to be calling the second speaker from the affirmative to reinforce their points. I'm calling up able professor. I'm calling on our own very reverend Father Kanife, PhD. A round of applause for him. Ancestor, you're welcome, sir. 30 minutes for the second speakers. 30 minutes. Ancient and model knowledge. Thank you, you're welcome.
The Vice Chancellor, I salute you. I support my friend. Who assessed you as the youngest Vice Chancellor. I think he's correct. I'm highly impressed. Thank you very much. The audience, I begin with the audience, my fellow speakers. I'm on the stand, on the view that religion has done more benefit to humanity than tribalism. And I want to thank the second speaker for supporting our view. Yes, religion has done so well for Christianity, for humanity in general. Because when Christ came, Christ had no boundaries at all. Christ came to convert and to make life better for everyone. Christ, the second person of the Blessed Trinity, came among us as man, taking flesh, and lived among us, and preached himself. And that his life is what he bequeathed to us before he left this planet. And even when he was handling his apostles and the disciples, it was the teaching that coached these young men. And he lived his life fully. Christ had no pretenses at all. He groomed the church and laid a very solid foundation for us to follow. The problem we have is, like the second speaker said, is abuse of religion. Abuse. And if you quote anything that we do, as he mentioned very clearly, you will, if you subject them to teachings of Christ, you find that those things don't hold water at all. They're all abuse. And as we say in Latin, ab usus non tollit usum. That the misuse of a thing doesn't refuse or remove the use. For example, even the biro pen you use for writing, in anger, you can turn around and use it to pluck somebody's eye. That is abuse. That's how so many things are abused. We know that have been abused of religion in so many ways, even by people in the high places. Like the crusade in those days, in the 12th century to the 18th century, especially in Spain, and Europe in general. So all these things, all these mishaps are abuse of religion, and they don't remove from what Christ actually has taught us. Now, you will agree with me that if we all stick to that teaching of Christ, even the Second Vatican Council, Lumen Gentium, has actually clarified that point. And even the present, the modern era, this new evangelization, all of them insist on what the teaching which Christ gave us. And what does teaching? The new commandment, for example, tells us about love one another. Love. And that Christ actually, he told his disciples that the sign with which people will know that you are my disciples are the love you have for one another. And he concretized it by stooping down and washing the feet of his apostles. And he expects us to do like that. He tells the apostles, who is the head of the table? Who is the master? Is the man on the table or the man who serves? He said, if you want to aspire to headship, you must be servant to others. All this is the genuine teaching of Christ, and that is pure religion. So anything that comes out of that goes beyond that, outside that, is not religion. It's abuse of religion. So that's the problem. Now, when you look at it from the point of view of tribalism, you find that, for example, the Yoruba people and the Igbo people, they have no problem. They have been living together all along. But when you talk of now political tribalism, you find that that's where the trouble is. Then the issue is, as a young country, a young state that controls the resources, because whoever is in power also controls the state. So the political tribalism is such that if you are an APC or PDP and happen to be in charge of the state, because the state has all the amenities, the power, the economic wherewithal, the job creation, all other things. So whoever is in that position controls everything. So if whoever is there, like even in sports, you see, you have sports tribalism. That you are in one particular sport, maybe you are Manchester, the other person is the other person is Madrid, and so on and so forth. You see each other as enemies. But the religion doesn't go like that. For example, now, when we worship in the churches, people come together from different places. We don't ask anybody, from which country are you? We don't. We worship together. If you are qualified for communion during communion service, everybody comes. Nobody says you are a white man, you are a black man, you are a yellow man. It doesn't exist. But in political setting, like, you find things are totally different. That people are pitched because of their political affiliations. And they don't get anything unless you belong. And remember, even when this man was a NLC chairman, Adams Oshomole, we knew how he operated, the zeal he had to defend the masses. But the moment he went into politics and enter the APC. Now would say you can commit any crime, come to APC and you're absolved. You see, can you imagine that type of thing? You see now, also the problem with this 23 presidential election, you see what happened? Because the ruling power wants to retain the power by all means, because they have the might, the federal might, and they did everything. They torpedoed the election and then made the judiciary to swing over and sacrificed justice, morality, and integrity on the altar of technicalities. So whereby now we find ourselves where we are because of this political tribalism. So it is the bane of human progress in this country, especially, and probably in any part of Africa where you have tribalism. It's unfortunate the word tribalism is not the Igbo word, it's English. And the white man brought it to us and we swallowed everything. And we use it to divide ourselves and then make problem one for the other. You see, that's the problem. So we find now that the issue is not tribal, it's not a religion, but tribalism. 2 more minutes. So, my dear brothers and sisters, I'm strongly supporting the view that religion is not the problem we have for humanity. Rather, the problem is tribalism. And if all of us, if we're able now to make things better for humanity in this country, we find religion will help us better. And we can, I don't know, the possibility of making us realize that the different tribes are not the problem, but the way we handle the tribes. So if this political elite can help us and make sure that all of us adhere to the teachings of Christ, and if we adhere to it and come to our different ethnic groups or nationalities, we find things will be better. So on this ground, I hope I've convinced you enough that religion is the better for humanity and not tribalism.
Thank you. Thank you. A round of applause for our own Most Reverend Father Kanife, PhD.
Okay.
Yes. He actually spoke for the negative. So we are going to be calling on the second speaker for the affirmative. And it's going to be our own able Professor Kingsley Ubaji. Give him a round of applause, please. You have 30 minutes, Prof. Thanks.
13. Thank you so much. I normally wear this cap as a chairperson because we always don't struggle. Ordinarily, I would have kept it, but because I came with my official vehicle, and that's why I'm like this. Kingsley Kechukwu is my name. I want to thank our opponents who are saying that the problem is a tribe. And we, at the beginning, said that religion, of course, misappropriation of religion, misapplication, misappropriation, anything, when it is not done the way it should, is the problem. And he began to talk about the wax on the altar. People wake up and carry a microphone and begin to preach or say things that is not consistent with the teaching of religion. Then we talk about gender inequality, where, if you remember in the past, some things are skewed to favor a particular set of people. In the Igbo land, the most nutritious and sweet part of some of these are religious problems, and it's part of why there are struggles here and there. The wasting of resources, the resources with which a community will be developed. You will use it and take 1,000 to Dubai to swim. It's still religion. Yeah, that's why people go on pilgrimage, and it has never affected us positively. So many churches are built instead of using the money to build universities like this, build places that would, the industries. Rather, the only thing we build is beautiful churches and groups that are affecting the community negatively. And in most Western world, you're beginning to notice that some of those edifices are being sold out. That is why we say religion is the problem of the progress of the African community. Of course, to expound on this, we talk about dogmatic differences, which creates enmity between or amongst adherents. Those dogmatic differences is why communities are not developing. Of course, when our friend here, not the Reverend Father, the first speaker was talking, he agreed religion is the problem because he began to expound on the dogmatic differences. That is our problem. We look at issues of fundamental religiosity and supremacy of one's God over another. Among Christians, among all the religious groups, the jihad, Islam, Christian, Buddhist, and so on and so forth. Every group believes their God is superior. And as a result, they look down on the other group's gods. And so, in all things, they do things to favor their God. That is why each group fights for their God instead of their God fighting for themselves. We have religious inferiority and deference to Western modernism. Of course, with religion, the Western world now made us inferior in all things. Our dress code, our everything is now inferior. And as a result, we stopped developing our indigenous knowledge and we tilted strongly towards the Western culture, attitude, and everything. And is really deterring the growth of African communities. Religious extremism and fanaticism are rampant in Africa, and it plays a great role in setting her backward, since it is one continent where it is common to see people who spend days and weeks in church as against getting involved in tangible, profit-oriented venture. People can go inside the church instead of working hard. They stay from morning till night. I remember a Reverend Father that will come to chapel and pursue people. I'll say, go and walk. God blesses the works of your hand. So these are some of the challenges we have. But for my time, I will not begin to expound this further. I want to really look at what my friend said. He was talking about tribe. And I said, do you observe that our politicians have religious problem but not tribe problem? That is why during appointment they appoint people in their religion, and our people swear. Have you heard about people drinking water from Quran? Have you heard about, sometimes they come here and demonstrate that they are Christians. They come here and demonstrate that they are with us, when in actual sense they have gone to one imam or one, what is the, all those, no, I'm talking about at the northern hemisphere, the Islamic leaders. They go there and take some oaths, and you don't know what they have done behind. I wouldn't want to mention things I've experienced having been part of one or two leadership positions. But the truth is that they camouflage and tell us they are really Christians, when in actual sense they are no more Christians. And that is the truth about what we think, that tribe is our problem. Tribe is not, religion is. And that is why they can swear, come and present themselves like sheep amongst, sheep among sheep when they are wolves, sheep's clothing. So they give us an impression they are with us, when in actual sense they are not with us. That is why politicians can deceive us by dressing and going to church, but in truth they have sworn to another. These are the things that are hidden, so that you will understand critically that religion is really the problem why Africa is not growing. You talked about votes, dear friend, no opponent. You said votes. I am sure we know that the last election, even by the international observers and everything, was not a reflection of what happened. It was because of religion that they twisted the beavers and IREV, and it stopped working. It is not because of tribe. It is because of religion. And because it is religion, remember the appointment of the chiefs, whether military, police, including judges who dealt with us at the last stroke. The judges are Muslims. So in order to advance religious agenda, they had to make sure the appointments are people who are strictly theirs. And that is why religion favors them. And religion is why Africa is not growing. So let me remind us again, all the politicians you see working with them, they are not Christians, though they come to church, though they receive communion, though they do all those things you think that every Christian do, though they pray facing the wall. They are not. They are simply deceiving us. The only way you will know they are deceiving us is when you walk with people who are very close to them. You know, some of them even eat human flesh. For a politician to approve the killing of a fellow human being, for a politician to hold salaries of workers for months without raising an eyebrow, it is an indication that person, though gives camouflage that he's a Christian, is not a Christian. And that is why the Bible said, by their fruits we shall know them. It is not the reflection. I have really talked about naturally the last election. I've mentioned that. In church, we worship together. Yes, we come together in church and worship, and because of our faith. Of course, Christianity cannot be equaled to religion. Christianity is a lifestyle, and we must differentiate it from religion, because that is why our first proponent talked about misappropriation, because there are struggles in the ranks and file. So I can only relate Christianity to tribe with respect to different denominations. At that level of denomination, that's where we show that we have problem. And that is a proof that tribe is not our problem. Religion is our problem. So at the level of Christianity, where you have Catholicism, Anglican, Pentecostals, we bring in the tribe, which is the core problem, which is the religion. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to. I'm trying, you know, when I say tribe, which is, I'm only trying to relate it to what they are using. It's a tool. Somebody comes and understands religion is what is your problem. He brings it in to really use it to deal with you. So, dear listeners and my co-debaters, I want to convince you, of course, to really understand that until we get religion right, until we understand the fundamental teaching of religious activities and follow it as it should be, and is not misappropriated, misrepresented, misquoted, and miss anything, it is only then that Africa will start progressing. That is why our people across the country, they go to Ghana, they progress. They go to a lot of other places, they progress. When you look beneath, you see there is a religious segregation, and it is affecting us dangerously. I call on all of us to break the barrier and the walls of religious, which word will I use to really drive it home? Bigotry or madness. I understand that tribe has never been our problem. Those who go for service, NYS, no, they have never been consistent anymore. The moment you mention your denomination or your religious belief, you become an enemy. And that is why so many times they call you, us, infidels, because religion has become a problem. Thank you.
A round of applause, please.
Yeah, microphone line in Chinese here. How do you call microphone line in our work?
Okay, thank you very much. Our able Professor Obaji, please, we should all relax. Make sure you are at the app now, because any time from now, I believe that even if you're already convinced on any side, you should be voting using the CN app in your phone. Make sure you are voting. And also realize item 7 is also available. So you are not rushing to anywhere. Relax and enjoy and learn valuably from our expertise. Thank you. You have 13 minutes, sir.
Good afternoon. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I want to tell you that these people have engaged in debates. I want to tell you this. And what we are struggling for, those things that bring all kinds of privileges and devastating effects in Africa, are struggle for wealth and power. And it is in that process that I will explain to you what ethnicity has done in the whole of the continent. I want you to know that the people that are saying religion, that is to say Muslims, it is an ethnic matter in the first place that brought them. They are Fulanis. They were Tutajalon. They came down to Nigeria to dominate other ethnic groups, other tribes. And in the process, I want you to understand the truth. And in the process, they now use religion as a hegemony throughout the whole north. It is necessary you understand too that the rest of our people doing all these arguments, calling religion, will recall that we were all massacred in the north because we are Igbos, not because we are Christians. We fought all the wars. All the Biafran war was purely fought on the fact that we are Igbos. Let me give you an example. This man they call Ahmad Bello, who was the premier of northern Nigeria, when he was interviewed by the British people at the time they were about starting the war, why are you having all these kind of restlessness? He said, is it not the Igbos that are dominating everywhere? That his messenger, an Igbo man, was able to control the psyche of even those who were graduates in his own office. Pure hate, pure sentiment against a group. Ethnocentrism, according to G.W. Sommer, is placing your person, your position and culture as a measure of other cultures. And it gives more problems in the whole of this country and the whole of Africa. Of them in northern Nigeria are Christians. Where were they when our people were killed at Utonkom and Utobi on their way home? It is purely ethnicity. And can I tell you, many of them in the north do not even regard the Yorubas as Muslims. So what the hell are we talking about? Currently, we have been told in the newspapers that a Catholic bishop in Kaduna posted only Igbo priests to the villages where Boko Haram people were attacking. Is he not an ethnic? I was the president of Pan-African Cultural Congress Bureau at Addis Ababa between 2015 and 2019. And I can tell you, the people of Rwanda killed themselves over this issue of who is in power, because everybody wants to survive. And the Hutus or Hutu, I don't know what they call them. All their skulls were collected, and it has now become a museum in Rwanda. So who is talking about religion? Religion is used as a means to intimidate, to cover, to blindfold you. After all, you are saying, what do they call it? Something fighting for God. We are in holy war. How can you fight for God that created you? All those things they call. How can you fight? God created all of us. Are you stronger than the God that created you? So you are fighting jihad. I want to tell you, those people are sponsored by those who want to have the economic wealth all over the world. I was in Jerusalem. The place they say center, holy of holies, when you come to the Wailing Wall, the Muslims occupied that place. They told us to come and be go out. So, but what I'm trying to tell you is that even those Muslims who are now at the center of the place they talk to God, they are fighting against those people in Gaza, the Hamas and all that. Where is religion there? There are Muslims in Israel, all of them have combined to fight the other people. Don't call religion, you'll be misled though. The truth about it is that ethnicity is at the center of all our problems because of the struggle for wealth and power. Capitalism is private ownership of means of production, distribution, and exchange. When that capitalism goes beyond nation, even they use religion for so so I want to let you know, if you go through all the elections in Nigeria, NCNC, when Zik began, Awolowo came home and joined him in Nigerian Youth Movement. They began NCNC, National Convention of Congress of Nigeria and the Cameroons, and they swept everywhere. When the people in the north came, Ahmad Bello, they used what they called the Northern People's Congress. It was Dr. Tiko, who was a civil servant, that used that, coined that at Zaria. They used it as a discourse club. When Abubakar pleaded with him that they would use it to register their own political party, it is a regional matter, it is an ethnic matter, it is tribalism and not religion. There are many ministers, there are many Igbo people who are Muslims. None of them has been given any position. Any Igbo man given a position is given that position because he's an Igbo man, not because he's going to religion or Muslim or what have you. Please let us not. You know why I'm angry? These young people, I'm not angry. Don't mark me zero. You know, look, listen. It's true, you can argue and become a professor to any level. But I don't want to mislead these children. Please, the problem in Nigeria is ethnicity. If you see them going to national conference, they're arguing on restructuring. They're arguing NYSC. They're arguing on resource control. They're all ethnic-based programs. I was a DG at Federal, and Federal Character Commission, one of those institutions they used to solve the problems of ethnicity. And when you go there, you are, first of all, guided by own ethnic sentiments. I recruited over 86 persons. 89% were Igbos, no apologies. Because nobody, the Igbo people there when I came, were at the base. Some of you who know the histogram. The rest of them, Yoruba was at the topmost. Even the outsiders were less. So when I was arraigned before the panel by the Federal Character Commission members, they asked me, is it true you employed more Igbos? I said yes, without apologies. That good enough, I was lucky. The chairman was a Sokoto man. He said, why? And then I showed him the histogram. And he found that we were the base. Therefore, he said, what about Sokoto? I said, the Sokoto, I employed your people, but they didn't want to come. I said, where is the headquarters? I said, Lagos. He said, oh, they will not come there. Then he now told the Yoruba man, why must you challenge this person? The Igbos are not there. If he doesn't recruit his people, forever they will not be there. I told, go. And by God's grace, I defeated them. I recruited even more. I'm saying so because our national consciousness, our national unity is still today driven by ethnic sentiments, tribalism, and not religion. I want you to understand that. Don't be misled. If you don't go with your tribesmen, they will drown all of you. It's better you know. So don't tell me all this. And I want to say, you are talking about elections. Have you forgotten before the war? It is true. My brother, with whom I read in the same university, he talked about colonialism imposing these ethnic sentiments. There was a newspaper, Iken Nazimiro was talking to us in the class. They said, Igbos are grabbers. They return home to marry. Yorubas are unreliable, dirty inside, filthy urban dwellers. The Hausas are iconoclasts. they are this and all that. So rather than look for the reality, because these were colonial anthropologists who actually went to town with all they discovered on the negative form, and they helped to distance us among ourselves within the ethnic groups. They even said that the people of Cross River are romantic, that they are that the entire southern region, south. So the truth about it is that all those while, even in eastern region, can I tell you, when Dr. Azikiwe was pushed out of West to be the premier, the man who was here, Professor Yoitan from Cross River, was also pushed out by our Igbo people. His ethnicity, this man was a professor. And when they came back, the Igbos used all kinds of intrigues and pushed the Calabar man. He went home. They never forgave us. Nigerian problem is a matter of ethnicity and not religion. Even if you vote anything, just know the fact. That's what I want to tell you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the wrap-up from the negative side of the argument. I'm calling on Most Reverend Father Ngoke to round up for the affirmative. So please, we should not certification for this particular event. We have certification of appreciation for our wonderful the debaters, and for all those that participated. Please, if you are interested, make sure that you make your payment into the CN account. 2,000 for those that are not students, 1,000 for those that are students. It's a form of community service. So if you're actually interested, you can go at the back and register formally, not the first registration. Thank you. Father, you have 30 minutes to round up.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, the Deans. Beloved students of Coal City University, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted that this kind of conversation is taking place in this place, in this home of intellectual exchange. And in so doing, we have the opportunity to, I think that one thing that will be extremely helpful in clarifying our thoughts, not in winning debate points. Dr. Malaki did advert to that when he spoke about the term tribalism. Just that term. First of all, its negative connotation, and then in the sense that it's impossible to put a positive value on tribalism in a multicultural society. It's impossible. So once it gets in there, it poisons the wells from the source. So, but in academic discourse, you hear more about nationalism. That's the neutral term, and that's the term that encapsulates what is there. I would like to, in my presentation, show what potential you have in tribalism, or rather nationalism, and what potential you have in religion. And to see that when religion goes bad, when religion becomes evil, it has been co-opted for some ideological reason. It has been co-opted to achieve certain purposes, maybe economic, maybe political, but it has completely deviated from the purpose of religion. I'd like to start with this excerpt from the book, Blood and Belonging, by Michael Ignatieff. Nationalism has three doctrinal representations: political, cultural, and moral. As a political doctrine, nationalism is the belief that the world's peoples are divided into nations, and that each of these nations has the right to self-determination, either as self-governing units within existing nation states or as nation states of their own. As a cultural ideal, nationalism is the claim that while men and women have many identities, it is the nation that provides them with a primary form of belonging. As a moral ideal, nationalism is an ethic of heroic sacrifice, justifying the use of violence in the defense of one's nation against enemies, internal or external. These claims, political, moral, and cultural, underwrite each other. The moral claim that nations are entitled to be defended by force depends on the cultural claim that the needs they satisfy for security and belonging are uniquely important. The political idea that all people should struggle for nationhood depends on the cultural claim that only nations can satisfy these needs. The cultural idea, in turn, underwrites the political claim that these needs cannot be satisfied without self-determination. But these claims, my dear brothers, none of them is self-evident. They can be contested. Most of the world's tribal peoples do not think of themselves as nations. Many do not seek or require a state of their own. It is not obvious, furthermore, why national identity should be a more important element of personal identity than any other. Nor is it obvious why the defense of the nation justifies the use of violence. One type of nationalism, namely civic nationalism, maintains that the nation should be composed of all those, regardless of race, color, creed, gender, language, or ethnicity, who subscribe to the nation's political creed. This nationalism is called the civic because it envisages the nation as a community of equal, rights-bearing citizens united in a patriotic attachment to a shared set of political practices and values. This nationalism is necessarily democratic since it vests sovereignty in all the people. It is the absence of civic nationalism that is destroying our country. So what we call tribalism is more often referred to as proto-nationalism. That is a restrictive form of nationalism that hampers the emergence of civic nationalism, that recognizes the quality of citizens merely as citizens irrespective of creed or color or language. This is the form of nationalism that we should be aspiring to. In fact, this form of nationalism, namely civic nationalism, is aspirational. And a nation that wants to grow must try to achieve within the conflict or competition of its constituent units this form of nationalism that is blind to blood and the creed and the language. Now, the other thing, if nationalism legitimizes an appeal to blood loyalty and in turn blood sacrifice, it can do so persuasively only if it seems to appeal to people's better natures, not just to their worst instincts. Since killing is a business not to be taken lightly, it must be done for a reason which makes the perpetrator think well of himself. If violence is to be legitimated, it must be in the name of all that is best in a people and what is better than the love of home. That is why tribalism, which is the privileging of people simply because they share blood affinity with you, they share linguistic affinity with you, and then the degrading of other people because they fail to share this kind of affinity. So it is very dangerous. And then making the moral claim that this belonging, this form of belonging, this nationality is worth defending at the cost of people's blood. So you could kill to defend it. You could give your life to defend it. Nationalists are supremely sentimental. The latent purpose of such sentimentality is to imply that one is in the grip of a love greater than reason, stronger than the will, a love akin to fate and destiny. Such a love assists the belief that it is fate, however tragic, that obliges you to kill. So, Hamas terrorists, when they are killing the Jews, they are driven by nationalistic passion and sentiment. So this passion and sentiment goes beyond all reason. They are fighting for home. They are defending homeland. So whoever stands between them and that purpose can be destroyed. It's quite dispensable. In Rwanda, in the Rwanda genocide of 1994, you find a tribe trumping religion. In a country that was 95% Roman Catholic, over 800,000 people were wasted within 3 months. That is the power of tribalism. That is the detestable form of nationalism, which must be contrasted with civic nationalism, which recognizes commonality of nature. According to Isaiah Berlin, in his 4 essays on liberty, he says that the notion that someone who does not share my creed, who does not share my humanity, is behind all the genocide. Slavery. In 1995, that the term ethnic cleansing was born. When people just belonging to a different ethnic group, when people were conceived as dead and therefore needed to be wiped out for the sake of ethnic, purity. So the land had to be purified in the manner the Germans tried to purify Europe of Jews. That is the capacity of evil in us when we allow it to take root. Now, religion, by the way, there's this Latin, religion can also be similarly abused and very dangerous when you do abuse it. So, in his beautiful book, Not in God's Name, Jewish Rabbi Jonathan Sachs says, look, he quotes Blaise Pascal to this effect: men never do evil so completely and cheerfully as when they do it from religious conviction. Blaise Pascal. But he goes on to say, when religion turns men into murderers, God weeps. Too often in the history of religion, people have killed in the name of the God of life, waged the war in the name of the God of peace, hated in the name of the God of love, and practiced cruelty in the name of the God of compassion. When this happens, God speaks, sometimes in a still small voice, almost inaudible, beneath the clamor, claiming to speak on his behalf. What he says is this: not in my name. End of quote. Now, because of the purpose, then we must privilege it and preserve it and protect it as one of the most important heritages of humankind. In his book, The Golden Core of Religion, Alexander Scott avers, we are religious because we love life and cling passionately to our king, and in consequence, fearful among the 1,000 perils that beset it. It was relish it is prior to fear. When we pursue our analysis far enough, it becomes clear that our attachment to conscious existence made the gods. Religion begins at its natural starting point, the instinct of self-preservation. Dear friends, if we allow tribalism, not civic nationalism, to poison the wells of religion, then you get a society that is headed for ruins. Thank you for your attention.
A round of applause. We We have wonderful speakers today. A round of applause for them, please. It really takes critical thinking for you to choose the side you are going to vote for. They are all giving it to us back to back. When we think this side is about to, it's as if I should go and tell some people, please, think twice before you finally decide your vote. Thank you so much to all our speakers. A round of applause to them again. Okay, at this point, we are at the verge of voting. Now, I'm giving us about 7 minutes. We are going to be doing it with some other thing. Voting for the side that have actually convinced you more, that have actually made you to know whether the progress of Africa is being retarded as a result of religion, inclinations, or as a result of tribalism. So please, make sure your CN app is on. I want to see our phones. All the students, let me see your phone up to confirm that you're actually part of us. Good. So please, let the voting be going on. And I want to invite the Commissioner for Youth and Sports, Ebu Barrister Lloyd Ikechukwu. He wants to have a 2-minute talk with the youth. You're welcome, Commissioner. Come up the stage. A round of applause for him. A young man in his full-fledged, filled with wisdom. Let's listen to him.
Good afternoon, everybody. Mr. Vice Chancellor, the very distinguished debaters, the moderators, the Coal City University students, everybody here present, I greet you. I just wanted to take an opportunity to say a few things before I take my leave, as there's something urgent that calls for my attention. But I'm very happy that I have the opportunity to speak quite briefly. First of all, let me commend the debaters for this very energetic, this very youthful display of intellectual exchange and intellectual sportsmanship as you debated. Sitting down there as a lawyer, I quite enjoyed watching the back and forth. And as a sportsman as well, I enjoyed the competition. And it was good to see the display of sportsmanship and adherence to the rules that were read out at the very beginning. So I commend you, sirs. The topic, as we listen to, which deals with the proposition that religion rather than tribalism has more of a negative effect on the development of Africa. So it was quite an interesting topic, and it allowed us to hear on both sides what the points are for and against. And there were very good points there as well, is that both religion and tribalism, at their very core, have positive intentions. But then, ultimately, when misapplications come into religion, when human, selfish interests come into tribalism, then you begin to see the worst of both sides. I think it was on the basis of those that argument took place. But that is not to say that tribalism, well, that tribe rather, is bad, but that tribalism itself is what is bad and not tribe or culture or ethnicity. So it was very engaging for me to hear all the points that were made. I therefore want to encourage you as you vote to think about the points that you heard and to vote dispassionately, but also think about if religion and tribalism in and of themselves are the two major problems we have with the development of Nigeria and Africa. Personally, I think there are more damaging issues that are retarding or plaguing our development, even more so. And some of these things are to do with some new developments in society, new ideals that are being pushed with the new technologies that we have and we are having to adapt to. We're the first set of people, it's a new generation living in a time of technology. So we're having to grapple with the good and the bad of those things, the pressures that come from, so us to various vices that we're exposed to because we want to get rich quick or one thing or the other. So there are so many other problems. Some of the problems we have are the lack of access for our young people to things, opportunities that will enable this country to develop and indeed Africa as a whole to develop. So I want us, just like myself, while listening to this, to be stimulated mentally to think about some of the problems that we have besides and culture. Just finally, just by way of pointing out some of my things that I noticed. I was reading the feedback form and I said, how would I rate the overall organization of the ATC debate 1 to 5? There was a question, it says, were the topics engaging and relevant? And I said, yes, the topic was relevant and it was definitely, the debate itself was definitely engaging. So I commend the debaters and the organizers. And then there was just one more point about suggestions for improvement. The day and age that we live in and in the new Enugu that is here under the leadership of Governor Peter Lubisimba, we have mainstreamed inclusion and diversity in everything that we do, from policy to implementation and indeed to appointment or recruitment. And so I noticed that this was a panel of just gentlemen. I think next time we should have some ladies and we should also have persons living with disabilities. In conclusion, I encourage all the young people here, the primary school students here, as well as the students of this great educational institution, to get involved in these sort of intellectual debates and continue to build on those skills of critical thinking and public speaking and presentation. And we hope to all meet at the top one day. Thank you and God bless you.
More rounds of applause for him. Our able commissioner for youth and sports. He's really representing us well. Thank you very much, sir. At this point, we are going to have a bit of entertainment so that we'll relieve ourselves from the seriousness that we'll be facing. So, Mr. Rabbi, can we get some music from you? And please, the voting should be going on as you're enjoying the music before we go to the final round of the debate. Thank you. You also have refreshment too, so just relax. No. Hey. Wait.
Good day, all. Mr. Rabbi is here. This is an original song, and it's titled Right or Wrong. Hello. Hello. Sun rises in your city, there could be darkness somewhere else, and that which made you say is a pity could bring another happiness. Sometimes we fight because many times we think we know more than the other, but these stuff sometimes they make me wonder, what is right, what is wrong? Your right could be my wrong, and what is wrong and what is right, since your wrong could be my right. What is right, what is wrong? Your right could be my wrong. What is wrong and what is right? Your wrong could be my right. Am I communicating? Let me explain. Your God could be someone's idol, and your prophet could be another sorcerer. Your religion could be another man's occult, and your prayers could be another's incantations. Your freedom fighter could be another man's rebel or terrorist. Your Messiah could be a brother gone astray, and your God could be someone's demon. Sometimes we fight because many times we think we know the other. All these stuffs sometimes they make me wonder, what is right, what is wrong? Your right could be my wrong, and what is wrong and what is right, since your right could be my wrong. What is right, what is wrong? Your right could be my wrong. What is wrong, what is right? Your right could be my wrong. See, Ibiani de mili naked in so Manika bakili kiku Amia yes yeah. What is right, what is wrong? What is right, what is wrong? Your right could be my wrong. So what is wrong? What is wrong? What is right? Since your wrong Okay, now, on a lighter mode, I want to talk to students with this song. Maka Chris. Okay. I saw them. They were holding hands, walking down the road. There were so much love in the air, but next thing I heard, they win. Their love is no more, and his friend, she said, he took the rope, he hung himself. This love killed him. So next time when they tell you I love you, check it qua, makoburi fakinu nada nanti, kona tonono, makebido sionato, darling, ebido sionato, sweetie, ebido sionapio. I love you. Ebido sionada, I miss you. Onyezi masikwanu mboge sunu, onyezi masikwanu mboge bido. Gidi gigadaga koga na fio, gaga yawa go gas. Imachazi kwa niji munolu, fine lady, iji munolu. One more verse. Sometimes I wonder why we fall in love. Ebendi anoga no cholo kafanwa. Mufodo no la no fane beno. Only sabiko na nonginaka. So puta kwa munaka dilaila. Nekwage. Anom no so page. Benwo kozo chiakage. All my guys are not chumokwada gelo basage man jogi simrapo na daga ipo kwa nwanne mpage nko njide go dugi red handed ego manka jurogi iko kudo when it come down swallow pride yo ichedi na mbwete baby come chwa ogalo mu mana mu no dulo nwemu na na welenyi wa igebu. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Such a wonderful presentation. We are so happy. Please, let us have a little patience. I want to just quickly read something from the CEO. He is in UK, and he said I should address us and read this on his behalf. And he said, I want to take a moment to express my sincere appreciation for your presence at the ATC Debate. Your participation added significant value to the event and enriched the overall experience. I'm excited to inform you that the outcomes of the ATC Debate will be featured in the upcoming edition of Storytell magazine, which will be published in London and launched in February 2024. So your participation here and pictures will appear in this London magazine. So don't be surprised. Somebody called you and said they saw your picture in London. So he said, as a value attendee, we will be sending you a formal invitation to join us for this special occasion. Storytell magazine showcases narrative events, tourism, and biographies of individuals in Africa with noteworthy achievement. Your engagement are integral to our mission of promoting and celebrating the diverse stories within the African continent. Thank you for coming. Best regards, Chudi Nwodo. Now, this is not the end of events. I just want to read CEO's address. God bless you. Claribel. Let's. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for our CEO, Mr. Chudi Nwodo, who is unavoidably absent, but he's with us in the spirit, and we just heard his address. He said he's very, very happy with us and how the whole event is turning out to be. May I recognize the presence of very Reverend Dr. Timothy Abo, that is representing the Anglican Archbishop of Enugu Diocese. Please, let's give him a round of applause. Thank you for coming, sir. So at this point, we are at the... Okay, he wants to say something. Let's give him 1 minute, please. Please, Reverend, 1 minute, please.
The Vice Chancellor, I want to very specially appreciate all of us for this very important event. I have come together with Reverend Dr. Gabriel Okere to represent our Archbishop and Bishop of Enugu Diocese. Let me very specially recognize, I didn't know I would still meet him. That's why when they said ancient and modern, I nodded my head. Please, can you clap for Father Kanife? I saw a wonderful drama today at this debate, because while Father Kanife was sitting to debate in favor of ethnicism, very quickly, because author, I have forgotten his first name, S. Mbiti, said, Africans, John Mbiti, he says, Africans are madly religious. They dress religiously, they eat religiously, they dance religiously, they do everything from the perspective of religion. So for anybody to say that religion is the problem of Africa, that person is not actually understanding the picture. But the problem of Africa is tribalism. The Fulanization that we saw in the last government of Buhari is a core picture that our problem is tribalism. He gave appointment to an ignorant Yoruba Fulani man in order to give a position to that person. And the Yorubanization of Nigeria that we are hearing today, where indeed the president of Nigeria is a Muslim, but his political appointments is based on Yoruba picture. Whether you are Islam, whether you are Christian, whether you are traditional religion, his appointment is, are you a Yoruba person? So when you look at it, you see that our problem is not religion. I am a victim of tribalism. I graduated from a school in the north, and I was meant to be the students' union leader. But because I came from the south, I couldn't be voted in to become the students' union leader. But it's a Christian religious organization. So tribalism was my problem. He's an Igbo man. Badejo, who wanted to become an Igbo woman, tribalism. It's not religion. Today, Peter Obi is badly hated, not because he's a Roman Catholic or a Christian, but because he's an Igbo man. Even the Hausa man in the north knows that Peter Obi is supposed to be the solution to Nigeria. But they hated him for nothing because of tribalism, not religion. When you go on and on, you will see a lot of other issues. Look at the appointment or even the election of popes. Archbishop of Canterbury. No African man has ever entered into that office. It's not because of religion, but because of tribalism. Look at our own Cardinal Arinze. I don't think there is any cardinal other than him in Roman Catholic Church all over the world. And it's not as if he's not qualified to be a pope, but because he is a black person. Tribalism, it may be, but there is a picture of it. So our problem in Nigeria, in Africa, is not religion, but tribalism. I think that tribes take advantage of religion. They use it to gain their own selfish interest. In the sense that when a Yoruba man, a Fulani man, an Igbo man, a person of any tribe wants to get something, he will hinge on religion to get what he wants. So religion is not the problem of Africa. Because if you say that Africa, their problem is religion, it means that Africa is irreligious. But John Mbiti says we are madly religious. Recently, I heard that after Afghanistan, Nigeria, an African nation, is the most praying nation all over the world. Yet, there is killing every day in Nigeria. This is not being sponsored by religion. It's being sponsored by interest of tribalism. In Abia State recently, over 80 heads of dead people were recovered by the governor of Abia State. It's not a factor of religion. It's a factor of tribalism. So, my dear young people, let nobody deceive you that religion is our problem. Even Korea, Japan, that are producing all these technologies that we are using, they still have their religion, and they honor their religion. Because even our African traditional religion is a religion. Because from the beginning, Africa is a religious society. Therefore, our problem is not religion. Our problem is tribalism and selfish interest. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Reverend. All protocols duly observed. Please, having listened to our debaters, the both teams, it's time for questions and answers. If you have any questions for the teams, can you please ask them? Questions. Questions for the both teams. Where is the other mic?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, my VC. Just to say that I feel nostalgic when I saw these senior brothers in the profession debate again. You know, it was like in those days when we were younger, we were doing this, and then, like Prof did, I hope I have successfully confused you that, you know, so I felt, oh, I wish I could go back to that stage again. But just briefly, we're not commenting. I think we have overflogged the matter, and we've got your points. I thank you, all the debaters, for the presentation. What I just want to say is, if I should act the devil's advocate, if they say that religion is the opium of the masses, is it an opium intrinsically or not? If it is intrinsically an opium that is effective and has potentials, not an innocuous one, then it will be a problem. Whether you abuse it, misinterpret it, reinterpret it, whichever way you handle it, intrinsically, if it is, then there's a problem there. Thank you. Yes.
The answer to Marx is Karl Marx. His answer is Max Weber. Because while Marx adopted Feuerbach's critique of religion, Feuerbach believed that, first of all, it says that religion is alienating for the human. Because the God we worship is the prototype of the God we worship as our Almighty Father, is the prototype of the weak and helpless man on earth. So we make a projection of an extraterrestrial being who has all the qualities that compensate for all the deficiencies experienced by human, in the hope that such a being is going to save us. So Marx adopted that and said, so Marx didn't principle and says, his argument is that it's not just that God doesn't exist, but he shouldn't even exist, because God is the first source of human alienation. So in trying to concentrate on God, then humans fail to solve their own problem. His answer is Max Weber, who wrote the capitalism developed in Europe on pleasures because they have it, but saving so they can make investment. He said that this kind of ethic, no such similar ethic or way of life or articulation of what the purpose of life was supposed to be anywhere else. And for that reason, the only place, the first place, the only place Lebanon could never have produced capitalism in Europe. And then, whether Europe is now still religious or not, European civilization is rooted in Christianity. And the high point of European achievement, accomplishment, but the most religious area of Europe, even
Thank you very much, Reverend. In addition to what you said, no. I'm just adding to. This is not a debate. It's a response
He
to.
wants to
Addition to what he has said. It's been contested in several quarters that Karl Marx's characterization of religion as the opium of the masses is indeed a product of frustration, a product of lack of thinking, inability to give religion a clearer interrogation. As he has pointed out, every civilization and worship of a supernatural power or powers, especially a god or gods. So,
excuse me, I don't want these people to crucify Karl Marx. Karl Marx was only trying to justify the fact that but what I want us to know is that St. Augustine had come, he had written something that is, so let us perfect the city of man to meet with the aspirations of St. Augustine in the city of God. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please, the both teams, you can now summarize your points. 2 minutes, please. Affirmative first.
I thought we would have spoken last.
2 minutes.
Please, the 2 minutes. Let me wear my glass. Don't start counting. It is conclusion. My fellow students, Vice Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I started with students because the power belongs to you. Your future is not known yet. Our future somehow has been defined. So you're greater than us. That's why I started with you. While we were, this is debate, this is not preaching. And while we were debating, every group, both groups believed tribalism and religion are pivotal to the problems of Africa. You gave about 5 quotations of different people who talked about it. And I simply said, both truly are the problem of Africa. The question is, which has more negative influence on the development of Africa? And of course, you must believe with me that the reverend gentlemen, the reverend fathers, the bishop, and so on, can never speak against religion because it is in their training, innate in their blood. Let me ask you, when brothers and sisters live together in a family and one changes church or religion, is it about the tribe of the same tribe that caused the trouble in the family, or because this one changed church? The moment you change church, you're enemy to your family, and vice versa. You can see religion is the problem. 2, you cannot change your tribe, but you can change your religion. And that is why with tribe, you are stuck, and it has never caused trouble, because over time from birth, people are adjusted to their tribe. But once you adjust in your religion, there is crisis. My friend and priest here said, an excellent program and agenda, once it is corrupt, becomes very deadly. Religion is a beautiful and excellent program, but the moment it became corrupt, it became the problem of Africa. No more tribe. Finally, that is why beautiful and powerful religion became, and my friend talked about opium of the masses. I'm just trying to be sure I didn't miss anything. So, dear friends, I still want to convince you that religion is our problem. Let everybody belong to the same religion. You will see we can always manage tribe as we've been managing it, both in the country, both in our villages and in our homes. And religion introduced becomes our problem. It's better you understand this and follow me.
Excuse me. My brother here is a close friend, but what he told you is not correct. No, let me come back even to what he talked about. You can't change your tribe. That is why we cannot. No, you are rigging this election. That is why we are saying that you can even do away with religion in any, not to say that you shouldn't go to church, but the religion wouldn't cause problem. A Muslim can become a Christian, we'll see it. But in ethnicity, a thing you can't solve so easily. That is our problem. They are killing our people in Lagos. It's on ethnicity, it's on tribalism. Now my brother here, because he knows how to speak English, he's trying to confuse you people. So what I'm telling you is ethnicity is our problem and not religion. That's all. It's better you understand it or you forget it.
In conclusion, just briefly a minute. No. Please. Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Okay.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Please, let's quickly recognize Mrs. Blessing Mbemene, representing the Honorable Commissioner for Women Development and Poverty Eradication. Ma, you are welcome. We appreciate your presence. Please, we have a feedback form. If you have not filled and submitted it, please do. Feedback form. Thank you so much. The final voting, please. The final voting.
Okay, so we should continue to vote because we are going to call the result very soon. Please, we have the two sides, and we have those that are for the negative, that are saying that tribalism rather than religion is the problem of African progress, and we have the affirmative that is saying that religion rather than tribalism is the problem of African progress. And they have all given us data to back up their claims. It is left for us to think about it, then vote convincingly. Don't vote because Prof knows how to smile. Or vote because, Father has spoken so well. Vote because you are convinced with their point. And actually, in reality, both of them are two sides of the same coin. So we have to make sure we vote critically. So the next thing that we have in our program for today is a draw section. Okay, so we are going to skip the draw session. Then I'm giving us 2 minutes to round up with the voting so that we can call the results. Then we present the certificates of appreciation. Please, very important as they are going on with the voting for 2 minutes, we have room for recommendation. This is no longer the part of debate because at the end of it, your recommendation, you are going to send it to us as soft copies. We are going to compile them in a compendium and give it to government officials because actually these two aspects affect our society very well, and we are looking for solution for it. And that is the main aim of this particular debate. And the CEO, Mr. Chudinwodo, is also concerned about future sponsorship. He is actually based in the UK, and he talked about the Chatham House debate and many other things that prompted him to set up this African debate platform. So that's our own issues. Because if we don't discuss Africa, we are going to be second-class, even third-class citizens in the world. But when we stand out, even the white man will say no. And actually, I don't believe in the concept of a race that is called white. I'm a geneticist because if you look at all the color, this is the color they call white. Please, have you seen anybody that looks this color? So this is debate. I can prove that there is no color, propagate them to be. We want sponsorship, not just, it's going to be like a community service. So if we call the result now, I'm opening my app. Let me know who actually. Okay, then the closing remark. Wait, bring your phone. Open your phone. Now for the results. Okay, I'm still giving the final minute so that people that have not voted will do so. So that when I call the results, you will not say your own one vote would have made the difference. That this is rigging. We don't rig in academia. We face what really make a difference. So, moderator. Is Rabbi still here? Okay, so here with me, we are now in the digital world. As all of you are voting and actually having seen it real time. But I believe so many people did not vote because I have more number of persons in this hall than the number of persons that actually voted. And that means there is, because in statistics or in research, there is a particular number that will say that it is significant. So if you did not vote, you are making the results to be a kind of, having more errors than the real thing. So please make sure you vote so that we know that it is reflecting the minds of the majority of the people that listen to this debate. So without wasting much of our time, once I finish calling the results, we'll still listen to their recommendations. Then the VC will give us the closing remark. The winning team is the team that spoke the winning team is the team that spoke in favor of the motion that religion rather than tribalism is the problem of African population.
You know. But if you don't know, you know.
And with the number of votes, 41 to 11. 41 to 11. Thank you. We are calling on our own Honorable Vice Chancellor to give us the closing remark. The students should not go before your VC. You don't leave before your Vice Chancellor. It's not done. Have respect for your Vice Chancellor. Please submit your feedback form before you leave. Submit your feedback form before you leave. And we are going to have group photographs after this.
It's just time to appreciate the panelists. And first on the list here is Reverend Father Umwoke. Okay, thank you so much on behalf of ATC. Okay. And please accept this as a token of our appreciation. Wow. Yeah. Oops. Okay. Yeah. Okay, you have that. Reverend Father Kanife E, PhD. Thank you. You got it. Okay. Professor Mpa Ago Mpa. Yeah. Coalition, sir. Thank you. Okay. Dr. Ferdinand Aniekwe. Great man. You got it? Okay. And we have one for Professor Felix Asowa. And Professor Asowa is not here, but the man that is here is on his own merit. And we have listened to him, and he has excited us. Yes, congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go!
We appreciate you. Thank you. Then we have Professor Kinsley Uba-Oji. Okay. Thank you. Congratulations. We appreciate you. Thank you. And finally, on behalf of Coal City University community, I want to thank ATC. I knew it was going to be an interesting event. Little did I know that it was going to be very informative, very educative, and really it has challenged our thoughts. For me, I've enjoyed myself. I think it's a festival of ideas. And this is the kind of idea of what...
The CN tickets and events present a certificate of host and appreciation to our able host, Professor Afam Ichantuma. A round of applause.
You know, but if you don't know, you know.